Welcome to this week's edition of Homemade Money, and this is going to be totally different than any other show I've done because I want to help you remove the obstacles that are keeping you from starting that business or moving to your next step. And what I want to do today is take you on a journey. I'm on the Kauai Trail in Kauai, and I'm going to take you on a journey through this trail, and as we do it, we'll remove the obstacles in your life that are keeping you from starting that business or getting to the next step for you. So hang tight and join me on the journey. A lot of times, the obstacles that you've created are self-created. You see something like this little stream coming down the mountain, and we make it into oceans in our life, and we feel that they're uncrossable. And so the reason you might not be starting a business, or the reason you might not be moving forward, is because you've created what I call a self-created obstacle. And that obstacle seems so big to you because you've made it big that you don't believe it's crossable. And so in your mind, you've created an obstacle that has kept you right where you are. The interesting thing about obstacles is a lot of times they're created out of fear. And the reason you think it's an ocean rather than a little stream is you have so much fear about crossing that obstacle and going after that next step. What I've found is the things that are near and dear to our heart and what we really want to succeed in is usually the things that cause us the most fear. So if you're feeling a ton of fear and building an obstacle, it's probably because that's the direction you should be moving. So I want you to list out the streams in your life that you've created into oceans, and I want you to start figuring out how you can cross them. Obstacle that gets in your way is you give up way too early. You don't persevere. The road gets tough, the climbing gets difficult, and you give up. When you give up, you don't achieve what you're intending to set out to do. If you want to start that business, it's going to take perseverance. Even if you want to make more money at your job, whatever you want to do, you're going to have to persevere. We're almost 2 miles into this hike and the road has gotten difficult. It's wet, it's slick, we're slip sliding around, we're using poles, we're barely making it. But we can't give up because to get 9 more miles into that final beach on the Kauai beach will take perseverance, it will take dedication, and it will take persistence to get there. And that's what you need to do. So the next obstacle that you have to climb is your own mind. So stay tuned, we're on the journey. I've been hiking for 2 days and I'm about to cross Climber's Ridge, which is the scariest part of the trail where you have to hug the wall in order to make it across. There are risks that you need to cross in your life in order to get that business off the ground. There are risks you need to take and mountains you need to climb. So what you have to do is face those fears. You have to do it even when you feel like you can't, and you have to push yourself past the point of no return. There's something you want to do. There's a path you want to cross and you're not doing it. And I want you to jump out of your comfort zone and cross the difficult paths that you are facing. So continue on with me on this journey and cross the difficult ledges. I'm on day 3 of the journey, and I made it to the final beach and spent last night at the Kauai beach. And the point for you in business is to persevere. It was so flippin' hard. I can't even tell you. Every part of my body hurt. And I was pushing forward, and I wasn't even carrying the most of the load. Someone else carried most of the load for me. Thanks, Vince. You have to persevere even when the going gets tough. You have to follow your dreams, and in order to do that, you're going to have to figure out that business you want to start and then stick to it even when it doesn't go well. You're going to have to keep going. So what I want you to do is think about the things that you're giving up on. What I noticed is I looked at a couple of the ridges, and they were so tall and the path so high that I remember thinking, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And then after I climbed it and looked back down, I realized that I did it. Take the word can't out of your vocabulary. You can do a lot more than you think you can do. So I'm furthering on the journey, and I'm hoping at this point that I can make it back out of this trail so I can upload this video footage for you. Stay tuned, and let's continue on the journey. We left the trail after 4 days of grueling hiking. I think I got about 22 hours of grueling hiking in, and my entire body hurts. I'm in a cabana at the Kauai Marriott in Lihue, and I am not going to do anything today. This is what happens when you get to the end of something, is you need to take a break and you need to relax and enjoy your accomplishments. It's what you don't do when you're starting a business, and it's what you don't do when you get to something where you've succeeded. You don't celebrate your accomplishments. So after you start this business, or if you have a business that's up and going, I want you to celebrate every little accomplishment that you have. Spur yourself on, take yourself to dinner, buy yourself a new shirt, do something, take yourself on a day off. Go hiking, go camping, do something to celebrate your accomplishment. There were days that I did not think I was going to make it. The Kauai Trail is terrifying in spots. I made it past Climber's Ledge the first day, but on the way back it was windy and raining. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I was 11 terrified. The cliff went straight down, and if I slipped even in the slightest, it would have been death. And I held onto the wall and mentally just wanted to quit. I was scared, I was stuck on the side of a cliff, and I was done. I didn't want to keep going. And there are times that you don't want to keep going. You're done, you're over, you're gonna throw in the towel. Success is at the other end of every failure. You can't give up. You have to keep going, and it's not going to be easy. If you want to start this business, most of the wealth that has been attained in the U.S. has been from people exercising an entrepreneurial spirit, starting their own business, and making way more money than you could ever make working for someone else. It's okay if you're working for someone else now, but why not make some extra money on the side with your own business? So what this show is all about, and why it's called How Made Money, is I want to encourage you to take the gifts and talents that you have, and I want you to turn those into a business. I want you to start a business that you can create extra money for you, so that you can be relaxing on a beach in Kauai. I know, Matt Monero, I know you are jealous right now because I know you love getting away and taking vacations. And Matt Monero started CFF Nation because he wanted to affect the lives of you, the transportation industry. So I hope you've enjoyed our hike on the Kauai Trail. And I am going to include some footage so that you can see some of the scenes that I saw along the way. I want you to do 3 things. I want you to write down the business you're going to start if you haven't decided yet.
And if you've already decided it, then I want you to determine what your next step is, and I want you to take that next step. The second thing I want you to do is map out the progress. Stop waiting. You have hours and hours and hours in the cab to think about this. Start forward with an action step. There's no reason to wait anymore. There's no reason to keep thinking about it. And number 3, don't use the word can't. I used it so many times on this trail. On the last day, I had 6 miles left. My body hurt. My muscles were weak. And I said, I can't make it. I cannot go any further. There's no way my legs will carry me one more step. And I sat down and looked at the ground. I realized I couldn't stop. There's no one that's going to carry me up the hill out of the trail. You may not have someone forcing you to go on, but I want you to remove the word can't from your vocabulary. I want you to do it. I want you to move forward. I want you to get a plan together, not give up, and I want you to change the way things are today. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the amazing hike on the Kauai Trail and for your next move on starting your business right here on CFF Nation. Have a fabulous week.
So we've just started the journey of climbing the Kauai Trail, and I'm already beat. And you can see behind me, and you can see Bethany way ahead. Ready for an exciting adventure.
We're continuing our hike, and I want to officially welcome you to the Nepali coast.
Made it in. This is the first beach, about the 2nd mile marker, and enjoy it. It's a great day hike. Now for the real adventure, for those who want to go on a full hike, it's 9 miles in. What we're about to do in the rain, so go have fun.
It's funny because when we got here it was sunny and bright, and then all of a sudden this rainstorm came in.
All right, come and join us.
We've been climbing, and we're almost to the top of this hill. You can see the volcanic rock behind me, and the going has gotten pretty rough, and we are way up in the sky. Sky high, but still climbing.
So we're coming up on the main camp, and there's a waterfall not too far from it, about 30-minute hike. We're going to check that out. When you hike the Kauai Trail, make sure you really read and understand it's not just one of the most dangerous hikes in the U.S. It is also one of the hardest hikes in the U.S. So says my feet, my shoulders, and my girlfriend laughing at me right next to you.
No, I'm tired too. I just think it's funny that you said, I thought it was dangerous, not difficult.
I'm gonna turn around while she hangs on to me so I don't fall off this cliff. You can see this cliff right now, and you can see beautiful waves down below all around, and then above us you see the tall mountain ridges. We're on one of the hardest hikes in the United States and one of the most dangerous hikes. Many people have died.
We're about to go across what's called Climber's Ledge, where the path is so thin that you have to hug the wall to get by it.
are amazing. So we made it to the Kauai beach. Finally, behind me you see Bethany. We've just had our shower and it was grueling to get here. But the view, I think you'll say, is extraordinary. And where else in the world can you sleep on the beach for an amazing experience like this? Definitely worth the hike. Now it's time for breakfast and to head on out.